Hey everybody, welcome back. We're still on that Halloween theme kick over here at the Vegan Zombie. And if you're liking these videos, let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, share the video, helps me out a lot. Today I just want to get into 13 movies that I chose leading up to Halloween. These are movies that I thought were good picks. They're some of my favorites. They might not necessarily be the scariest movies, but these are great to watch leading up to Halloween. So without further ado, Pet Sematary. Now this is a movie I watch just about every year. It's a great Stephen King movie. I saw it when it first came out. It's got some good jump scares in it, and I even went to the cemetery where they filmed part of the movie. So that was pretty cool. It gets my vote, and it definitely makes my list. The Gate. This was a fun one for me growing up, starring Stephen Dorff. It reminds me of my childhood, and sometimes I'm still looking under my bed when I get up. It's about when the parents left them home alone and they opened some gateway to hell and they gotta fix it themselves. So it's definitely a fun movie. Definitely recommend checking this one out. The Burbs. This was another fun movie that I watched growing up. It stars Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, Bruce Dern, and a few others. It's not necessarily the scariest movie, but there are some creepy parts to it. It's just an overall good movie. I highly recommend. Salem's Lot. This is another great movie. It's a classic. I try to watch it at least once a year. It's a Stephen King movie about vampires before they sparkled. The Blair Witch Project. Now this was a movie that I actually thought was pretty scary, and I saw it in the movie theaters when it first came out. And I think that if you're not paying attention or you forget what happened or what is said at the beginning, then when the end comes for the big reveal, you're kind of like, that was stupid, what just happened? Like half the theater did when I saw it. But for the other half that paid attention or remembered what they were said at the beginning, when the reveal came at the end, it was like, wow, that was terrifying, like myself. It was one of the movies that started the found footage craze. They started with a $60,000 budget and they went on to make about $250 million, which was a huge success in the box office, and it definitely makes my list. Silver Bullet. Another Stephen King movie. We got Corey Haim in his souped up wheelchair, Gary Busey. What can go wrong? Werewolves. What takes care of werewolves? Silver bullets. Fright Night, the original, 1985. We have a story about a vampire that moves next door to a teenager who nobody believes. Along with his friend Evil and Peter Vincent the Vampire Slayer, find out if they can stop their evil neighbor.
You're so cool, Brewster!
One of my absolute favorites growing up, The Lost Boys, starring Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland. About a family who goes to live with Grandpa in Santa Carla, which just happens to be infested with vampires. It's a real fun movie. It's definitely at the top of my list, and you guys should check it out too. Creepshow. When George Romero teams up with Stephen King, you're going to have a brilliant movie. There's actually 4 stories in this movie, and there's stars like Ed Harris, Ted Danson, Leslie Nielsen, and even Stephen King acts in one of these, and he does more than his little appearances that he does in most of his movies. So I highly recommend Creepshow. There's also a Creepshow 2, which is also really good. Another great movie from the 80s, The Monster Squad. I loved it as a kid. I still love it today. It's kind of like the Goonies meet Monster Movie Matinee. You got Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. My favorite horror movie of all time, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now remember, this is my top Halloween list. So Dracula has an amazing cast. We have Gary Oldman killing it as Dracula, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder. This is an incredible movie. I love it. I watch it all the time. Surprising to some, I would probably also rate it as the best love story of all time. So definitely check out Dracula if you haven't already. Night of the Living Dead, the original, 1968 by George Romero. This is the movie that put the zombie genre as we know it today on the map. And a fun fact about this movie is when the producers changed the name from, I believe, Night of the Flesh Eaters to Night of the Living Dead, they accidentally removed the copyright symbol, and the movie was fair use for anyone. Unfortunate for George Romero, but that's why you see the movie in the background of many other movies. If you haven't already, I highly recommend checking it out. And I was actually just in the cemetery last week in Evans City, Pennsylvania, where the movie was filmed 50 years earlier. So that was pretty cool. And my number one pick for Halloween movies is the original John Carpenter's Halloween, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. It's really amazing what a William Shatner mask and scary music can do for a movie. Well, that's it. I hope you guys like my list of Halloween movies. Let me know in the comments below what movies you like to watch around Halloween, and maybe I'll do a video on my top zombie movies. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell for notifications. Watch out for zombies, and I'll see you guys in the next video.